Hi there, this is Tracy with TotallyTraced. I am here live with my June class, my virtual class, and this one is the Gallery Blooms Fun Folds. So I want to start with just showing you what comes with the suite that I'm going to be using, because suites are buy one, get one 50% off right now, or anything within the suite is also buy one, get one free, or buy one, get one 50% off. So Beautiful Motifs is one of the bundles, so you can get the stamp set, but then there's also all these amazing dies in it. Then there's also the Gallery Blooms. So whereas the Beautiful Motifs is all your sentiments, the Gallery Blooms are all your flowers. And then, I mean, look at all the different stems and greenery that you get. It also comes with this amazing frame and then the stamp set. Then the suite has this 6x6 designer series paper. There's 12 sheets, 4 of each in the pack. And tonight I'm going to be, your kit will have 6 of them. And then 2 weeks from now, I will be doing a bonus class where if you add that onto your kits, you get another 6 sheets of this paper. So a different 6 sheets, and we'll be making 4 more cards. So this paper is just stunning. It's a mixture of flowers and scenery. So that was all the A side, and then the B side has some neutrals, some patterns, some bold flowers. It's just this suite is very diverse. And I feel like I've made so many great projects out of it, yet still I am not using it to its fullest potential. So the suite also comes with this basic beige ribbon. And then I believe these are called pressed flower motifs. So they're kind of like a brass, a brushed metal, but then they have like a little flower input. I'm not sure if that's showing up on the camera or not. All right, but tonight we are going to be making 5 cards, excuse me. Keep getting my numbers wrong. And again, if you want to make these same 5 cards, I'm going to send you the kits. You can register for that down in the comments is the link. And so this is what your kit will look like. You'll get 6 sheets of the designer series paper. So these are the sheets in tonight's kit, because that's what we'll be using. You'll get 4 feet of that basic beige ribbon and 12 of the pressed flower motifs. And then you'll have envelopes with all the cardstock, die cuts, everything ready for you. The only thing that you will need is you'll need stamps. And I think I've used mostly sentiments tonight, but we'll go ahead and get into it. So if you are here with me live, I would love for you to say hi to me. Tell me where you're watching from. Your kit, you will also get the PDF tutorial, which has the directions, the measurements, the pictures, everything for you. So I send that to you virtually. And then, of course, this video is something that you'll be able to come back to. It'll be on Facebook for the next 30 days at least, and then they tend to delete them after that. But I also upload it to my YouTube channel. All right, so the first card I'm going to make is this. So on your PDF tutorial, it actually says card number 2. That's where I'm going to start. So let's look. Of course, I don't have these in order because I've moved them around so many times. I was just about to say it's going to be the last one, but no, it wasn't. All right. So this is a cute little fun fold. Hi, Anne. I'm glad you could make it. So this is that arch die. And look, I just used it as a flap. Like, isn't that cute? And then so it actually opens kind of a little backwards. So that's the first fun fold that we're going to do. If I didn't mention, all of these cards are going to be fun folds. They'll all be different ones. All right, so in your kits, you've got your card base. And then this is going to be your inside, and of course your arch. So we're going to start there. You're going to flip your arch upside down. And then we're going to use that large flower in Gallery Blooms. And of course, if you don't have that, you'll just use any flower or really any stamp that you have that fits. But of course, this one coordinates perfectly with the paper. And I'm going to be using Early Espresso ink. All right, Anna's joining from Wisconsin. And I feel like you were here last week with me too, so welcome back. All right, I'm gonna stamp this all the way at the bottom of the arch, my upside down arch, and I'm gonna do it just at a little bit of a tilt. All right, there we go. Whoop. All right, so now I'm going to get this paper. Let's hope it's a B-side and that I don't have the wrong paper here. There we go. All right. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so if this is right side up, I'm going to take 2 inches off the bottom. And by the way, all your measurements are in your kit, but I do recommend that you watch me finish the cutting to make sure it works, just in case I have a wrong measurement on there. I really do try hard to make sure they're all right, but you know, there are such things as typos. No matter how many times I double check them, it seems like something comes out wrong. All right, actually, while I have this out, I'm also gonna score this at the top at about 3/4 of an inch. If that's not, it doesn't have to be exact. My key is I don't want to cut off any of that flower. So for me, it looks like I'm gonna go a little bit smaller. And then that is going to get folded like that. Okay. So this is just going to get glued here, but don't make the mistake I almost did. Remember, this is going to open up almost upside down, so I'm actually going to flip it because you want it to open this way. Okay, just like that. All right, and then I'm gonna work on the inside next because I always like to stamp before I glue down. That way, if I make a mistake, I can just stamp the back. All right, so I'm gonna get that little stamp. Again, that's from the Gallery Blooms as well. But again, you can use any flower. And I'm just gonna use the smallest one. And it's gonna be an Early Espresso. And I'm just gonna stamp that in the bottom left. So pretty. I love that Early Espresso on, this is very vanilla I'm using. All right, and because I'm happy with that, I'm ready to lay it down, but we're not gonna actually glue it yet because to get this flap, I'm actually going to glue it behind that, if it makes sense. But I don't want to glue it flat here because I want it to open with my card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put glue here first, just a little bit because I don't want it to squeeze through. And I'm going to line this up with the very edge of my card. So that score mark, I'm trying to make that exactly on my line. And then we'll just make sure, yep, that works. Oh, of course my glue didn't work. Okay, let me get that lined up again. Try that again. There we go. Yep, that works. We're holding it in place. Okay, now we're gonna glue this over the top. So this will be another layer that will secure that. So if you're worried about using too little glue, don't worry, it's gonna stay because this is gonna hold it in place too. We're just going to kind of center that. All All right, and there is the basic of the card. So now we're just gonna jazz it up a little bit. I'm gonna add the sentiments. And for this, I'm going to the beautiful motifs. Again, part of that super sweet. If you haven't taken advantage of the buy one, get one 50% off, I really recommend it. We've only got, 5 or 6 days left. It ends on June 30th. Can you tell I don't know what the date is today? All right, and so I'm just gonna stamp that. I'm using Thinking of You. And let's see, I'm just gonna sneak back my card. Yep, I centered it. Just like that. Ooh, I'm seeing some hearts and lights go through. Okay, that is gonna get there, and I'm just gonna put one dimensional right on the back. And look at this, I'm gonna use the last of this one. Last of this sheet, and I'm going to want it to go there, so I'm going to put it off to the right. Okay, so now I'm going to use that basic beige ribbon. Your kit will include 4 feet of it. Now, usually I'm very frugal with my ribbon, so if you want to be frugal with yours, you can hide it behind this and not have it wrap all the way around. I am having it wrap all the way around just because I think it looks nice when you open it up that way. But again, whoever you're sending this card to, they're not going to see mine, so they're not going to know that yours looks any different. Okay, so I'm just going to tie a bow off to the side. See if I left enough room here. Oh, I might have enough there. And then, you know, you're just gonna play with it to get it to look how you want it to look. This one's being stubborn. I might be there we go. It just needs some work. Do you know that trick? When you're not happy with your bow, you just keep pulling, tightening, and it's amazing how it straightens out. Okay, so I'm just gonna scooch this over a little bit, and then we're gonna cut off the edges. I always cut at an angle. And there we go, card number 1. Oh, I see Marlene has just joined us. Welcome. Again, if you're here, I'd love for you to say hi. Let me know if you already have this kit or if you're going to get this kit so that you can make these cards. All right. Oh, wait a minute. We have to embellish. Look at that. I left my embellishments right inside the kits. I tend to bling up every card, so I'm surprised I forgot. Okay, I always do my embellishments in 3s, and then I try and make them somewhat in a triangle. All right, there we go. Now there is card number 1. Hi, Bonnie. Okay, so now we're going to go to card number 2. We're gonna make this card. So I told you this paper is full of the different sceneries. This is one of my favorite layouts for when you have paper that just has a beautiful scene. So again, in my kit, I am looking for the one with the crumb cake. Again, your kit has everything you need except for the stamps and the inks, and everything is ready for you. So you can see I've already die cut things for you. You'll just have to trim the paper and you will have the PDF. So I'm going to switch to card number 3, so I'm making sure I'm doing those measurements correctly. So first, I've already scored your card, so you're just going to fold that back, your card base. And then we're going to get that beautiful paper that has the scene. And so again, this will, I mean, I could have used this with a blue or a green background, this one. There's so many different scenes. The only one I haven't figured out is this one. If anybody can tell me even what this is in the direction, I'm not sure. I haven't used this paper yet. All right, but I'm going to use this one. And again, I'm going to cut off, let's see, I'm trying to think how much. I think I want to get rid of some of that sky. Yes, I like that better. So in your directions, it does say, oh no, it has it correct in your directions. Okay, good. All right, and then I'm just going to cut this into 3 equal pieces. All right. Oh no, and I should have kept them together. I'm not very good at puzzles. Okay, does that look right? No, it does not look right. Okay, you can laugh at me. That looks right. So maybe oh brother. When you do yours, you'll want to keep it together. Well, then it's got to be this way, right? It's the only way I haven't done. All right, that's going to be close enough. I'm not sure if that's right, but okay. So the first one is going to get glued on the outside panel, and then this one will get glued on the inside panel. And then there's a trick for the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down first. Hi, Judy. Glad you could join me tonight. So again, just right to the front panel. And I'm just trying to make sure that they have the same, like they're lined up at the top and the bottom. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you want it to be close. All right, now let me show you this mistake on my original card. See when it's closed, you can see that little bit of white, maybe it's vanilla, I think it's vanilla, popping through. You don't want that, so you're not gonna make that mistake. Instead, this time when I do it, see, I just put it down and I didn't actually check it out. So this time I'm going to make sure. There we go. See, I don't want to see any of that crumb cake. It's okay to see this crumb cake, but I don't want to see any of the other. And that's why I'm using liquid glue, because I can move it just a little bit. There we go. See how it kind of looks like a scene there, but then when you open it, you see more of the scene. All right, now we're going to do some sentiments. So I'm going to use Thinking of You again. This time I'm going to stamp it in crumb cake. I'm just going to clean all these while I have this out. All right, so okay, this one I'm going to stamp a little bit off to the right because I am going to add that stem to it. There we go. Again, love that color combination. And then on the inside, I'm going to put Here For You Always. And I'm going to stamp that in crumb cake as well. just going to do it right in the middle. And now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to glue that down. So again, I always stamp first and then glue. That way if I make a mistake, I can fix it or do it on the back. And I want to line it right up to that designer series paper. Just like that. All right, looks like my stem still has a few pieces. I'm just going to pop those out. And then I'm going to get that glued right to the edge there. So I'm just going to put some tiny dots right here in the middle. Oh, my piece is still there. Okay, and then, whoops. And I'm going to flip this over. And I'm only putting glue on the side, otherwise I'm gluing my card shut. And I'm just going to put a little bit more glue here on the stem. And then we're just going to put that right in the middle. All right, so there is our next card. All right, so what do you think of these cards so far? Again, I just love how the papers are so different. You have the flowers, then you have the scenes. It's like a few of my favorite DSPs all combined into one. All right, I'm just gonna clean up a little bit and then I'll get started on card number 3. Again, if you are loving these cards, you can get the kits. The registration link is in the comments, and I will send you 6 6x6 sheets of designer series paper, 12 of the gems, the pressed flower motifs, and then 4 feet of the basic beige ribbon. All the paper cut and prepped for you, all the card stuff cut and prepped for you. PDF tutorial. The only thing that you'll need is your stamps and ink. All right, so I'm moving to card number 4 in your tutorial. Okay, and it's this card. And so again, all of these are going to be fun folds. So it just opens that way. It's a little Z card. It can sit like that. This paper is one of my favorites in it. And I'll tell you, Basic Beige came out last year and I thought, gotta have it, new neutral, I absolutely love it. And then when I got it, I made so many cards and did not like any of them. And I just kept throwing it away. And I was like, this Basic Beige, it looks green to me. I do not like this neutral. It looks like a dirty vanilla. Until this set. Pairing it with Mossy Meadow has made all the difference. Now I know, well, it has a little bit of green in it. You just have to pair it with some green papers and it will bring that out. All right, so all I've done is this is a basic card base and I've just accordioned the front. And then I'm gonna layer up all these papers. So I've got another piece of Basic Beige, the Mossy Meadow, and the very vanilla. Actually, I'm not using that, just kidding. We're gonna layer up these papers. Oh, I see Lisa has just joined us. Welcome, Lisa. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and get this paper. Now, I was pretty particular with how I cut it. So when you're looking at it, Make sure it's upright like this with most of the flowers on here and the bigger side in your upper left-hand corner, so that when you're cutting the papers based on the measurements that I gave you, that is going to be important. Okay, and then we are going to use a little bit of these scraps. All right, so that will now get glued to what we just created. So pretty. Hi, Carrie, glad you could make it. All right. I mean, right there, that is just pretty. Like, this doesn't even need a fun fold. It doesn't need anything. You could just give this as a card and it's amazing, you know, with the sentiment, obviously. All right. So now I'm going to do my sentiment. And so in the beautiful motifs, you have all these sentiments, but you also have these two background stamps. I'm actually going to use this one. This is just to add a little dimension. I don't even know if on the camera it's showing it. Again, it's not an important piece, but I did do that in the backgrounds a little bit. And I'm actually going to use Basic Beige. And I'm going to stamp off, hence me getting this paper. So when I say stamp off, what I mean is I'm going to ink this up and then stamp on something else and then stamp on here. It's just going to make it a little bit lighter, just kind of gives it that watercolor look. And while I have this out, another effect I gave was I just went around the edges. Just to give a little bit of dimension again. See, and that's Basic Beige. You see how green it's looking? That's why I didn't like it at the beginning. All right, now I'm gonna get the Wishing You Love and Happiness That Lasts a Lifetime. By the way, this is the heartfelt hexagon punch that I used for this. I don't like storing punches, but I love how easy it is and how quick it is just to punch something out. And then I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. Hi, Sharon. I'm glad you could make it. Watching from Queensland, Australia. So morning for you, evening for me. There we go. We're going to put that right in the middle. Now you can see I've got a little bit of ribbon behind that. So let me show you how I do that. All I do is I take my tape runner and I just put like a line down the middle. And then I've got a really ugly frayed edge. So I'm just going to cut that off real quick. And then I kind of just judge. So I'm going to want it to go to about there. And I'm just going to layer it. Again, we'll see. I want that to be a little bit bigger. Okay, now you could run some tape over that if you're worried about that staying. I think it's going to be okay. Especially once I add some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put my dimensionals overlaying that ribbon, so that just gives it another little bit of security. And then that is going to go right over the top. Looks a little crooked. Let's straighten that out a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so now to get that fun fold effect back to my card base, I'm going to glue that right there. So I'm putting glue all over this top accordion piece. And then we're just going to make that line up the best you can. All right, so our front is done. Now we're gonna work on the inside. So again, I gave you that vanilla sheet of paper. So remember that first piece that we cut off, that is going to get glued on the side. Before I glue anything down though, I'm gonna do that stamp first. So I'm back to my gallery bloom. So you can see I'm using both of them, which remember, these are BOGO 50% off. I don't know if that's true in Australia. Do you guys have the same deal going on in Australia too? Here in the US, all Sweets and Sweet products are buy one, get one 50% off for a few more days. It ends at the end of June. All right. So I've got this, I think it's a Snapdragon. And again, just I'm gonna put it in the bottom left. And I'm happy how that looks. So now I'm going to put some glue here. And then I'm just gonna cut off that extra. Keep that with my other scraps. And then we're gonna glue that to the inside of the card. Okay, so there is card number 3. So we've made these 3 so far. Again, this is my Gallery Blooms Fun Fold class. I do a class every month. It's usually about the 3rd Wednesday of the month, but it doesn't seem like that always works. But I always post my calendar so you can find out what that is. And then you can purchase the kit to make the same cards that I do. And it just so happens this one, I loved it so much, I just kept designing, so I have an add-on kit if you want to keep making cards like I did. And then I also, with the same, so this suite, I've been making reels all month. A lot of my lives have been this, so that you get lots of inspiration. Oh, Lisa says she loves this card. Thanks, Lisa. Again, paper does all the work. It's my favorite kind. You didn't even need to make it a fun fold. It would have been beautiful without it. But everybody likes making and receiving those fun folds. All right. So let me get back to the tutorial so that we can move on to, in your tutorial it says card number 5. I know we've only made 3 so far, but I saved card number 1 for last. So this was actually the first card. Oh no, Anne says they're not available. Oh, I think I just checked yesterday and they were. Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of things are going because of this sale. I don't know if they were prepared for how many sweets and bundles people would be buying, because I know I've bought quite a few myself. This is the first card I made with this. I loved this paper, and then you've probably seen me do this fun fold before. It's one of my favorite layouts, and I thought it worked just perfectly for this. And one of the reasons I ordered this, is it this one? Nope, the other one, is because of all the different stems. So of course I had to make a card that focused on that. Oh, thanks, Del. She says, stunning cards. And you know when they'll be back in stock? They're usually pretty good about saying that. Uh-oh. I'm missing some of my stems. Good thing I've got some over here. All right. Let me just check that folder again. Ha ha ha. I was thinking, wait a minute, does that mean people who ordered the kit didn't get it? It's in there. It just got stuck at the bottom. All right, so again, I have prepped the card base for you. This is another one you're not going to want to cut anything until you watch me to make sure that if there's something wrong on the tutorial, that you don't make the same mistake as me. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to layer up this. So this is the arches die, and all I'm going to do is lay out these stems. This one I absolutely love. It is super dainty. I have torn a few, so you'll want to be gentle with it. But I think that's why I love it so much, is because it is just so dainty, and I've got a few pieces still stuck in there. And I'm just going to kind of lay everything down, make sure I'm happy with it. This is a fun one. So these pieces don't actually cut out, but I like to kind of fold them and play with them just to give a little bit more dimension. And you can see the dimension stays. Like, that's been in my envelope, and it still shows it. It's just kind of a fun, I like how they're getting so intricate with their die cuts. And then this one, and that one. All right, so my pink one is going off just a little bit, so I am going to trim that down. And we're going to have ribbon that overlays it, so nobody's going to notice that anyway. All right, I should probably use my glue mat so I don't get glue all over everything. So I've gotten pretty good at making sure I don't use too much glue, but I will show you a little trick if you are someone that has a hard time controlling it, because it does take practice. All right, so I'm just going to put that right in the center. So something else you can do, this is a silicone mat, so you can just put glue right onto it. And when it dries, it does pop right off. But while you're waiting for that, you can just lay it down and kind of tap your stuff into it so that you don't get too much. Okay, so a little trick for you there. Okay, and then we're gonna do our little Snapdragon. Whoop, and it's sticking to my finger. All right, let's add a little bit more glue to him. Because you can see I've got a dot right on my finger. I need to get rid of that, or everything all night is going to stick to me. Go. Yep, and it went right, that glue went right onto my shorts. Seemed like the perfect place to wipe it off. Okay, now we're gonna make a bow. This basic beige ribbon is very nice. It's super pliable, very thin, so it's easy to make bows. And again, you just keep playing with it and it'll end up being perfect. Okay, I think I am happy with that. And then I'm gonna put it there, but because those stems are sticking up just a little bit, I'm gonna use just a tiny piece of tear and tape just to kind of tape all those down. I don't know if it's gonna let me pick this back up. So this is two-sided. Right now I'm trying to get this white piece off because then I can stick my bow right to it. Oh, maybe I did get it. There we go, so dual purpose. It'll hold that bow in place and it'll keep all my stems laying down. So it looks just like that. All right, so now I'm gonna show you, we're gonna cut this paper and then I'll show you how to make that fun folds. Get my cutter. And then this is directional. I don't think it's gonna matter, but in case it does to you, then you'll wanna make it sure it's laying the right way before you cut it at 4 inches. And then let's see. All right, so you have your card base and the bigger piece is going to get glued there, and then your smaller piece will get glued on this piece. And woohoo, the measurements on your PDF are correct. All right, now we're gonna do the inside. Actually, I still don't want to. I'm too nervous that I won't stamp it right. So I'm gonna follow my rule. Don't glue anything down. All right, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna lay this piece down at the bottom, excuse me, so that it matches up perfectly. Like you want it to look like you can't tell that there's two pieces there. Okay, so then, because this is gonna be what holds it together. So now, I'm gonna put 1, 2 dimensionals here. And actually I'm gonna put a third one. I probably should have spread those out a little bit further. Okay, and then I'm gonna lay this here. And now at the top, I'm gonna put 2 dimensionals. I'm just gonna turn this around and get this line back up. So, and right now I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I don't need to lay it down. Yeah, that looks good. I just wanna make sure my dimensionals are in the correct spot. Oh, Sharon's asking if she can buy the PDF. Yes, I do have a PDF store. I'm not sure if I've uploaded this one yet or not, but I'll send you the link when I'm done here, Sharon. All right, there we go. So now it has that fun fold. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this here. And then I'm going to use that as kind of my stencil to make sure that I can stamp there. And hopefully I've got enough room for You've Been on My Mind. And this I did in pecan pie. Okay, and so it does look like I've got plenty of room there. So it's going to get stamped just there, and now I will glue it down. If you're braver than me, you can glue yours first and then stamp. But whenever I do that, you know I mess that stamp up. When I don't do it, it stamps perfectly. I'm using liquid glue again because I'm gonna lay it down and not press it yet. Just make sure, yes, it fits. Now press it down. Okay, and then we'll use our pressed flower motif. Again, I typically use 3 and I try and form a triangle with them. There we go. Okay, so we have 4 cards done. Now, this last one, I feel like I have to do it as a redemption. So I did it as a Saturday Live. I've made this card. You might have seen it before. And I completely messed up, like really bad messed up. Embarrassed that I could make such a mistake. I couldn't even finish the card. Oh, thanks, Lisa. She says she loves that card also. And then I got back online live like 2 minutes later because as soon as I was off live, I found my mistake. It's like, all right, now I'm going to show people the real way to do this and they can make this card too. So if you've seen this card, that might be why. So this is the 5th card. Again, all of these are fun folds. So this one just sits up like that. Oh yeah, Carol's saying that the paper is very pretty. It's amazing paper. All right, so last envelope. So I've already scored it for you. What you're gonna wanna do is you'll open it and then this bottom triangle, you're gonna bend this way and then just give it a good crease. Okay, this is another paper where, again, when Stampin' Up! Makes this scenery paper, you don't have to do much to it. Like Carol said, the paper's so pretty. Why mess anything up? So really all I did was frame it, and that's the card front. So I have it on Secret C. And let me get my measurements for, don't want to be messing this one up with 2. Okay. I'm cutting off mostly sky, although, all right, maybe I don't want to do that. I don't want to cut off that tree. So let's see, we'll do it here. That might be too much. Whoops, wrong one. Okay. Basically, I was trying to get it to 4 inches, but I wanted to make sure I liked what I had. And I do. So now we'll cut off this side. Because, I don't want most of my card to be the sky. I want it to be this. Okay, so that's going to get layered there. All right, here we go. Stress. I am this time going to be stamping it right onto the paper. Hi, Karen. I see you just joined. I know you typically watch the replay. Does that mean I'm running late today? 6:20. I guess I usually am done around 6:15. All right, I'm going to get Secret C ink out. And I'm just going to stamp it right up in that corner. And whatever it looks like is what it looks like. Okay, phew, stamped correctly. Okay, and then I'm just going to glue it onto that Secret Sea mat. All right, so now we're gonna get this glued onto the front of the card. This bottom triangle is where you want to put glue. Okay, and then we're gonna line that up. Just hold that for a second. All right, so now let me show you how I got this. So this will already be done for you in your kit, but I do want to show you how it works. So I believe it's this one. Yeah, so in the Beautiful Motifs bundle, it comes with 4 dies. And so, or 5 dies. These 2 are your traditional dies. They cut everything out like you would expect. These 2, and maybe this one, I don't know if I've even played with this one yet. These 2 don't cut out the entire image. And I didn't really, hi Jocelyn, I didn't really understand what that meant until I got it. So I thought surely they don't mean that it wouldn't. So look how pretty that is. So again, I've told you that this suite offers so much, and I definitely have not explored everything that it can do. And this is what I mean. I've only used it with this card this one way, and I can only imagine it's got to do so many other fun things. But I knew I wanted this card to sit up, which means you need to have something there. So I thought this would be perfect. So to glue this in, we're going to put glue all over the solid pieces, not where I die cutted, but then you are going to put just some dots around the edges, because you do want this corner and the side to stay down. And remember, just a little bit of this glue does a lot. Okay, so we'll glue it right down there. And so now that makes it so it'll sit up. Isn't that so cool? Again, I need to play with it more to see what other fun things I can do with it. But I thought that was kind of a neat card. All right, so let me just bring in the 5 cards that you can make with this kit. Again, you can register for the kit down in the comments. And now next week I'm live with my free card class. That's where I'm going to share a template. I don't have the measurements out yet because, to be honest, I haven't designed it yet. I have a few ideas, but I haven't made a final decision. But that's what I'll be doing next week. I would love for you to join me. You use my template and make whatever card you can with whatever supplies you have. Then the week after that, I actually have the bonus version of this class. So this kit includes all the supplies to make 5 cards, excuse me. And you get the 6 by 6 sheets of paper, the 4 feet of the beige ribbon. You get the gems. Well, with the bonus class, I'm going to send you 6 more 6 by 6 sheets of paper. They're different. They're from the same suite, but they're different sheets of paper, and all the supplies to make 4 more cards. So these are the cards that we'll be making. This is 2 weeks from now. Okay, so hopefully you can join me both Wednesdays that are coming up. Again, if you love the cards that I made tonight, sign up for that kit. They'll be shipping out within the next week or 2, so that you can make them, and then add that bonus card class, and I'll send you that too so that you can have it in time for to make it with me. Hopefully I will see all of you next Wednesday for the free card class. Thanks so much for joining me tonight.